Alright, welcome to the stream. Let's see how many people we got in our stream. A couple people in there, that's pretty cool. So what are we going to be going over today? Before we get started in this stream, I'll give you a quick rundown of what we'll do. We'll be making a little demo game, more of a tool really, a drawing tool. We're going to make it so that we can program something in Gamefroot to draw shapes and lines on the canvas and program our own drawing tool. And if we've got time, we might expand it a little, add some more drawing features. We might come up with some. And if anyone has any questions or suggestions on how to make our drawing tool better, then we can try those as well. Now, if you're just joining the stream, let me give you a link. What do we want? 112.992. 112.992. Okay, let's see if that works. So I've got a remix link that'll give you a couple of assets that you might want to use in your drawing game that we're going to make. And they are in a remix link that I can give you. So we can use this pencil, and we've got this paper background as well. Now you don't have to have that. You could go and find something from the marketplace. Maybe you could even use one of these rocket ships. That might work. Let's give that a test real quick. Could you use a rocket ship? I guess you could if you kind of rotate it around like that. Anyway, that's an idea. So let me put the links to those in the chat. So there you go. That's, you want to go to https make.gamefruit.com. If you go to this link, you will get a pre-made game with some objects that we'll program. It's not essential though, you could use other objects. Okay. The important part of this is going to be what we actually program. So we'll just might see if anyone else jumps in the stream, and then we will get started. And remember, this is at gamefruit.com. Okay, well, we might just get started. Alright, welcome to Gamefruit's Code Talk, a live digital technology stream on how to code real video games powered by real video game developers. I'm Dave and I'm your host. Today we're going to be making a drawing tool in Gamefruit. Something where we can click and drag and leave lines behind and draw pictures. So let's get started. You're going to want to go to that link that I put in the chat there. And if you can't see that, what could I do here? Maybe I could make a, maybe I could show it on the screen really quick. Let's give that a try. Let's try that. Oh, crashed the web browser. Oh, that's no good. I might have to reload my web browser. Give me 1 second. One moment, one moment. This is crashed pretty badly. Alright, let me load that back up. Okay, so we are going to Gamefroot.com, and what I wanted to show up on the screen was a link. A link to get this remix game with the pencil and the background in there. Just about there. Okay, let's get that back up. Can we see that? Okay, there we go. Remix slash 112992. Alright, let's go to that link. Now, here's what we want to do. That'll open up a little example game with a pencil and a piece of paper, and we want to turn this pencil into a drawing tool in Gamefroot. So we're going to go and program it. So let's right click on that and add a script. Now, let me just make sure I've still got my instructions ready to go. So what do we want this pencil to do? We want it to detect when we click. So we need an event for that. If we go to events and grab when the stage is pressed and drag this out, we want to use this to detect when we click to draw our circle. What else do we want to do? We want our pencil to constantly follow our mouse around. So as we move our mouse around, we want the pencil to follow that. Let's go to events and grab a constantly block for that. Constantly. Now, the way that we want this to work is we want it to position itself where the mouse is. So if we go to transform and grab set X position of myself to 0, drag that into the constantly block, and then we can drag this 0 out of there, put that in the trash, and this should be X position of mouse. If we go to sensing, we can grab X position of mouse. This block will also work. This is if you're in bigger levels, plus camera X. But I'll just use this one. My level is pretty small. X position of mouse. So that'll make the pencil go to the horizontal position of the mouse. What about vertically? Well, let's duplicate that set X position. Right click duplicate, connect it underneath, and we want the vertical position as well, the Y position. The Y position of myself, the pencil, should go to the Y position of the mouse. Okay, let's test this out and make sure our pencil is following us around. If we click play, and we'll need to save the script, let's save it as pencil. And there it is. Follows my mouse around. Perfect. Now what I want to be able to do is click to draw. Click to draw. How are we going to do that? Well, let's go and edit some of our programming. Now what I'm going to do before I do much more on this, I'm going to close out of my script here, and I'm going to save my game. File, save game. Always a good idea to save your game. I'm going to call this drawing game for stream. And now let's go and edit our pencil script. We'll right click on that and edit the script on it. Now this will work on any object. You don't necessarily have to have the pencil with the piece of paper. You could use any object, add a script to it, and it'll do the same thing. Okay, let's get it so that we can draw. Now this, when the stage is pressed, is when we want to start putting marks on the paper, or drawing. In our case, we're going to draw circles. To do that, we want to go to the draw category here and grab create circle with radius. That's what we want, create circle with radius. We'll drag it onto when the stage is pressed. That'll create a circle. Let's just see what that looks like, circle with radius of 100. If we just play this now. And if I click, well, we can see it created a circle up there. And each time I click, it's creating another circle, but it puts it in the same place. Well, my circles, I don't want them to be that massive. I want them to be fairly small, and I want them to be where my mouse is. And I want them to be a different color as well. So I'll close my game preview here, and I'll go back into my script. So I'm creating circles. Now I want to change the size of them. So that 100 radius, let me try 20. And I also want to change the color of the circle. So if I go to draw and grab set color of shape, drag that out there. Now the shape that we're making is called circle. So we need to change instance shape to circle by clicking on it and picking circle. And red, yeah, red's a pretty good color. What other colors do we got? We've got a lot of colors. Might try a blue. That's going to be blue. Now remember, I want it to go to where the mouse is. So I'm going to use these two blocks. We just used those before, didn't we? To position the pencil. So let's right click on those and duplicate them and connect them in our when the stage is pressed block. And the way that we want this to work is we want the X position of the circle to go to the X position of the mouse. So we'll get rid of myself out of there from the Y position one as well. And we want that to be replaced with instance circle. So we can right click and duplicate instance circle and put that in where myself is. So instance circle refers to the circle that we just created. Okay, let's give that another play. And now if I click, we can see there are some circles being painted down. Now, do I want my pencil to be in front of these circles? Probably not. We can fix that. We go back into our code and we can tell the circle that we've just made to go behind the pencil. We go to looks and scroll down to the bottom there. In looks, we want myself move in front of instance other. From the bottom of looks, myself move in front of instance other. Okay. Now, myself move in front of instance other. We actually want to change this in front of to behind, move behind. And we'll get rid of instance other. And we really want it to say circle, move behind myself. So we'll put myself over there. And then instance circle, we can right click and duplicate on that. Put it on the left there. So the circle will go behind myself. And remember, myself is the pencil. So let's play that again. Give it a little test. And when we draw, now it's going behind the pencil. Now every time I click, it puts one circle down. So you could draw by just clicking a lot, and that would probably be fine. But we could go and make this even better. We could make it so that the pencil detects when we are clicking down our mouse, and we'll just keep drawing, and then when we release, it will stop drawing. And we can do that using our constantly block. So let's close this. And we might save our game as well. I'll close my script, save that, and then I will go File, Save, Game. Alright. Now, let's go back and edit the pencil. So I want to modify how I'm drawing these circles. I want to detect when I click and then when I release. Let me make a new function for drawing circles. I'm going to go to functions there and drag out do something. And this function is like a little chunk of code that I can repeat. I'm going to rename do something to draw a circle. And then I will drag all of these blocks from when the stage is pressed into draw a circle. So we've got this draw a circle function. And what this does is describes some actions that can be taken. These are instructions. And they'll only do these instructions if we tell this function to run or to execute. If we go to our functions category, we can see we've got a new block called draw a circle. If we drag that out, whenever we, if we were to say when the stage is pressed, draw a circle, it'll go and do those. What we want to do in our case is detect if the mouse is being clicked and constantly draw a circle. So I don't want draw a circle to be in when the stage is pressed. I actually want draw a circle to be in constantly. Now, if I were to go and play this, the problem would be that I will always be drawing, no matter what. And while it looks pretty good, and it's a lot smoother, I don't want it to always be drawing, only when I click. So the way that I'll solve that is by using an if block to ask if the mouse is clicked. I'll go to control flow and grab an if do block and drag my draw circle into the if block, and this if block will then go inside constantly. Now the if block here is going to ask, is the mouse clicked? How do we know if the mouse is clicked? Well, we can have a variable, a true or false variable, that gets set to true when we click on the stage, when the stage is pressed, and then sets the variable to false when we release the stage. So we need a new variable. If we go to variables here, we can click create variable. And the name of this variable will be mouse pressed, and it will be true or false. Good. Okay, now we've got mouse pressed. We want to say when the stage is pressed, set mouse pressed to true. We go to operators. We can grab our true block near the top there, connect that in. But when we release our mouse, we're not holding it down anymore. We want to set mouse pressed to false. So we can right click when the stage is pressed, duplicate that, and make this one say, instead of pressed, it should say released. when we release the stage, and then true false mouse pressed should be set to false. Okay, very good. Now back in here, are we drawing a circle constantly? We will be drawing a circle if mouse pressed equals true. So let's grab an equals block from operators. And then we want a true block. We've got one floating around here, so we can right click, duplicate it. And in here we want this to say mouse pressed. So that's from our variables. Mouse pressed, true, false, mouse pressed. If mouse pressed equals true, draw a circle, and that will constantly run. Okay, let's play that now, see how that works. So it's not drawing circles, very good. And if I click and then release, it only draws when I am pressing. So that's very good. Okay, what else could we add to our game? Let's have a think. Well, something that you might want to be aware of is if we draw for a long time, the game will start to slow down a little. And that's because we've got a lot of circles in here. We can see how many objects we've added to our game because we keep creating circles. If we click on the little bug icon there, we can see that we have 357 level members, and the game is now running at 17 frames a second. So that's a lot of objects, 357 objects. And all of those are pretty much our circles. Otherwise, we've just got our background and our pencil. That's only 2 objects. So there must be 355 circles. So we can disable our debug mode by clicking that little bug there. If you want your game to be running smoothly, what you could do, well, there are a couple of things you could do. One is you could draw less circles. And 2 is you could start to delete circles. How can we do that? How can we do that? Well, let's close our game and then have a little think about that. What we could do is, let's do a little experiment. We could say when we draw a circle, after 5 seconds, we could destroy that circle. Let's try that. So it'll be kind of like a temporary circle. We go to events and control flow is what we want. Control flow, and then under time we've got after 100 milliseconds have passed. Grab that, drag that into our function, our draw a circle function. We could say after 5,000 milliseconds have passed, or after 5 seconds, we could destroy that circle that we just made. And if we go to control flow again, up the top we've got destroy myself. And we want to get rid of myself. We want to refer to the circle. So let's right click, duplicate that circle and put that in there. So after 5 seconds it will destroy the circle. Okay, let's play the game and see if it does that. So if I draw and then wait 5 seconds, it should destroy, it destroyed 1 circle. Okay, let's have another look. If I just put 1 circle down and wait 5 seconds, does it destroy that? I think the problem might be that we said destroy instance circle, but we're also creating a lot of instance circles, so it might not be sure who instance circle actually is. Perhaps we can fix this by using a local variable, which is a temporary way of storing some information. Each time we do our draw circle, we're overriding the previous circle with a new one. So if we go to global and local and create a local variable, and call this one, we could call this circle, and make it an instance. And then grab set local instance this circle, drag that out here above the time delay block, and we want to say, okay, this circle is referring to the circle that we just created, instance circle. And then after 5,000 milliseconds, we will destroy instance this circle. We can go to global and local and grab this circle and put that in there like that. Destroy this circle. Let's see if that works. So 5 seconds, they should all disappear. And there we go, they do. So that's kind of cool, isn't it? It does look quite neat, actually. Yeah, okay, that is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay, what should we try next? How about we create a color picker, a way for us to choose colors for our drawing. Let's try and make some more circles, but these circles are not going to be part of our drawing. They're going to be a way for us to choose our colors. So what I want to do, I'll just play my game again so you can kind of imagine this. I've got my drawing here, and I'll just draw. But what I want to have is, over on the left here, I want to have some circles with colors. Maybe that'll be red, green, yellow, blue, something like that. That way I can click on them, and I could pick the color that I wanted. And then when I go and draw, it'll change the color of the circles that I make. To do that, I want to think, I want to have some colored circles. So I'm going to need to use this create circle with radius block. I'm going to need to use another one of those. And I'm also going to have to set the color of the circle. So let's make 4 circles when the level starts. Okay, well, we need our event when the level starts, which is from events. And we can go and grab that. We can go and grab that from events when the level starts. We'll drag that out, and I like to put that up the top because it kind of happens first when the level starts. Then I want these 2 blocks, create circle and then set color of shape. So I'll right click on create circle and duplicate that, put that up there when the level starts, and then set color of shape. I want that as well, so I'll duplicate that, put that up here when the level starts. And how big do I want my circle to be? 20 radius, maybe that's fine. The first circle I want to be red, so I'll change the color to red. Then I want to position it. I want it to be up in the corner of my game. So I'm going to grab these 2 blocks, set X position of circle and set Y position of circle. Duplicate those, put those up there. But I want to change, I don't want it going to where the mouse is, so I'm going to throw those mouse blocks away. The circle here, I am going to position it to X 10 and Y 10. So it's 10 pixels away from the edge and 10 pixels down. Okay, let's play that and see if our red circle is up in the corner. Okay, there it is. Very nice. I might make it a bit bigger. I might make it 50 instead of 20. Radius of 50. What does that look like? Okay, that's pretty good. Now I will create 3 more circles. So I'll duplicate these blocks. So now we can see we've created 1 circle, positioned it, creating another circle, What color do we want this one to be? Red. Let's make this one yellow. Yellow. And X position, I still want it to be 10 pixels across, but then it's Y position. I want it to go down, and I want it to go down by 100 pixels. So let's try 120. See what that looks like. So hopefully there'll be 10 pixels between the first circle. So changing that Y position, let's have a look at that. Okay, pretty good, pretty good. Now I want to be able to click on these and have them change the color of what I'm drawing. Let me just do the last two circles that I wanted. I wanted red, yellow, green, and blue. So these 4 blocks I'll duplicate again. This time this circle will be green. And the Y position is going to go down by, that one was 10 and that one was 120. So that's 110 difference. So if I add 110 to 120, that is 230. And following on from that, if we want our blue circle, blue, that should also be at x10, and Y should be 340. I think that makes sense. Let's have a look. Okay, very good. Now I want to be able to click on those circles, have my pencil remember, okay, you clicked red, or okay, you clicked yellow, and then change the color of the circles that I'm drawing. Let's do that. So I'll close my game. And we've added a fair bit of blocks here, so let's go and save our game as well. I'll close my script, and then File, Save Game. Okay, let's go back to our pencil script. Now, how are we going to detect the color of the circle that we clicked? Good question. Well, let's have a look at the blocks that we've got. Okay, I think I know how we're going to do this. So we're creating circles. What we could do is, instead of just saying create circle, we could create a red circle and a yellow circle and a green circle and a blue circle. And by naming those circles, instead of just giving them the generic circle name, we could then use an event which detects when we press an object. Okay, so that's what we'll do. We'll go and rename our circles and make sure we refer to the correct circle. So when we're creating this first circle, that's going to be our red circle. So let's click on circle up here and rename that variable. Actually, wait a second. If we rename that variable, it'll change all of our circle variables. So we don't want to rename it. We actually want to make a new variable. So click on circle and then new variable. And the name for this variable should be red circle. Okay. Then the color of the red circle will be red, so we need to change circle to red circle. Same thing for positioning. We're now positioning the red circle, not just the generic circle. Red circle. Okay, good. All of those are red circle. Now this one is going to be yellow circle. So let's click on create circle there and change that to a new variable called yellow circle. And again, we're setting the color of shape yellow circle to yellow, setting the position of yellow circle. Okay, good. Now green and then blue. So create circle, new variable, green circle, color of shape green circle, and then the last one was blue. So let's create a blue circle, new variable called blue circle, color of blue circle, X position of blue circle, Y position of blue circle. Good. So we're referring now to specific different circles. Okay, now that we've done that, we can detect when we press each of these different circles. So if we go to events, we have this block, when the player presses myself. Let's drag that out, make a bit of space for it. Now instead of pressing myself, I want to detect when the player presses red circle. So let's drag myself into the trash and grab one of these red circle blocks. So if I right click on that, duplicate instance red circle, connect it into when the player presses. And so when I press red circle, what do I want to do? Well, I want to say I should now be drawing with this new color. And the way that I draw is down here, and I've just got it set to blue. What I should really do is make a new variable called drawing color, and it will be a color variable, and it'll remember colors. So set color of shape instance circle in my draw a circle function. I'm going to get rid of this blue color here, throw that in the trash. I'm going to replace it with a variable. I'll go to variables and create a variable for this. I'll call it drawing color, and the type, important, that type needs to be color. Okay, so we've created a new drawing color variable. Let's drag that into that color there. So now it's going to create a shape, a circle, and it's going to set the color to whatever the drawing color is. The tricky thing is this variable does not yet have a value. It doesn't know what the drawing color is to start out with. So we'll give it a color when the level starts. We'll say, hey, drawing color, let's just start it as red. So when the level starts, up here, up the very top, we'll go to variables and grab set color, drawing color, and let's make that red. And we've got some red here, so we can duplicate that, pop it in there. So when the level starts, drawing color will be red. It'll create all these circles. Now we want to detect when we press that particular circle. When we press the red circle, what we want to do is say, make the drawing color red. So I'll go to variables and I'll grab set color, drawing color, and then I want that red color, which is up here. So I'll right click and duplicate that, connect it in. What if I press the yellow circle? Well, let's duplicate when the player presses, and let's say for this one, when the player presses yellow circle, set the color, the drawing color, to yellow. What if you press the blue circle? Well, we'll set the drawing color to blue. And what if you press the green circle? If the player presses green circle, make a bit more space here. When you press the green circle, we'll set the drawing color to green. Now, if you've got a lot of overlapping blocks, you can right click and clean up blocks, and that makes things nice and tidy. Okay, so that is all the code that we've done. Constantly positioning myself on the mouse, drawing circles. This is what we do when we draw a circle. Make it, position it, color it, put it behind the pencil. Remember who that specific circle was, and then after 5 seconds we're destroying it. We're remembering whether or not we've pressed the stage with our variables. And then we're remembering which circle we've pressed to change our drawing color. And we can, we've created these circle colors. Okay, let's play the game now and have a look at that. And let's draw. We started with red, very good. If we click on yellow now, we're drawing with yellow, awesome. Click on green, we're drawing with green, very good. And what about blue? Yes, we've got blue, good job. So, I think that will wrap up our stream for the day, unless anyone has any questions. Now remember, it's always good to save. We've got a good chunk of progress there we can go save. So we'll close our script and save that, and then file, save game. And again, if you're tuning in fairly late in the stream, you want to go to this link, and I will put the link in. I might just put it in a text field here, actually, in Gamefroot. that's where you want to go to. make.gamefruit.com/games/remix/112992. And hopefully you can make a cool little drawing game. Well, I hope you learned something in this stream. We did a bunch with variables, which is pretty cool. Feel free to check out our other tutorials in our tutorial sidebar there. We've got a bunch of cool ones. And we will see